and welcome back to the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel. It's Erica with you today, and we're going to have some Foliage Frenzy fun today. So I'm going to be using the Fern Leaf Paradise, and then also this Foliage Frenzy Meraki Motifs stencil. So the plan was originally to just make one card, but you know, sometimes things happen the way they do and you end up with 2 or 3. So today we are going to end up with 2 cards, and we are going to ink blend both of these. So I am here prepping my first piece of cardstock with some post-it tape. So I use a post-it tape on the back of my cardstock to make sure that the stencil stays in place, and then this sort of ensures that I don't have to use pixie spray, because unfortunately pixie spray is super duper difficult for me to get a hold of living in Spain. So I've had to come up with different methods of keeping my stencils in place. The inks we are going to use today is a gorgeous rainbowy array of Atelier inks from Inkon3. So we're going to spread these out a little bit because I'm going to be taking up a lot of space. And because the Maryland Red and Sweet Petunia Pink are quite similar, and I only really need the one kind of pinkish reddish hue, we're going to just use Petunia Pink for these cards. So today I am actually going to be using these itty bitty brushes from the Rabbit Hole Designs, and the reason I'm going to use the smaller brushes is with intricate detailed stencils like this, I do find that it's just easier to get into those like little nooks and crannies, and also if I don't want to get ink all over the place, because I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit wild with my ink blending sometimes, and I'm zooming in here so that you can actually see what I mean. So with these itty bitty brushes, you just get a lot more kind of control of where you're going with your ink, and you don't have to mask so much. Because originally I was thinking, you know what, I might need to like mask off areas, which I normally do when I'm using my big brushes. But I thought, you know what, I will give it a try with these itty bitty brushes, and it worked out really, really well actually. So if you are a little bit concerned about like color contamination, you can always wipe off your stencil in between, and then always wipe it down, so you wipe your ink over where you've actually ink blended. So you can see that I did just that, because I didn't want it to be sort of too purpley. I wanted it to be quite blue, and then I'm doing it again between the blue and the green, because those two together kind of create that sort of tealy color. And then I'm going to clean this off, and I'm just using a microfiber cloth, very, very gentle pressure. And then we're going to use the same stencil on the same panel. Oh yes! So we are going to add a little bit more foliage, because it didn't feel like it was frenzied enough for that first one. So we're going to try to place it so that the stencil bits now go in quite wide areas, so that we're covering almost the entire kind of panel with it. And then we're gonna actually add a little bit of the Trinity Teal here, and I'm not gonna kind of go super duper all like the same colors over the same areas, because you're still gonna want them to kind of, you know, stand out a little bit on their own. But here I was a little bit more willy-nilly with my color blending, but you will see it did end up actually looking really quite fabulous. And with the stencil kind of not covering my entire panel there as well, using these itty bitty brushes just made it so much easier to not get ink where I wasn't supposed to get it. So yeah, I'm really quite a fan, and I think I'm gonna have to order a bunch more. But so this is one finished panel, and then I was like, you know, I'm not gonna say I can do this better, but let's try something else. So on the Crafty Meraki reels section, you can see that there is actually a reel with a card that I've made using like a similar sort of technique to this. So we're not going to actually cover the entire panel. We're just going to kind of make it a bit of a frame of leaves around the kind of the bottom bit, and then your right side. So the reason I wanted to do this is just to kind of, you know, you're adding a little bit of texture and color, obviously color, but you're still gonna leave a lot of white space for those kind of clean and simple cards. So I personally really struggle with clean and simple cards. I don't know, I just want to cover them up with bling and, you know, colors and textures and layers. So I do find it really difficult, but using a stencil like this is kind of making it easier for me, because I still feel like I'm getting depths and I'm still getting texture, even though it's completely flat. You know, it still feels like there's a three-dimensional aspect to it. So that is what I do to kind of, you know, help me out with clean and simple cards. But then, you know, we had this one panel, and then here's our second colorful one. And then, of course, you know, we need to add something to it. So I had the idea of cutting out the Fern Leaf out of white cardstock, and then this gorgeous matte gold foil from Concord and Ninth. And then this is, I want to say Dove from Lawn Fawn. This is just white for bits of cardstock left over. And then that black, I'm pretty sure it's Tonic Studios. So the reason I've cut out 2 of each in these different kind of color cardstocks and stuff is so that I can layer them up, and they will give a little bit of, again, depth and dimension by adding just the one layer, and it will do so much to your card making. It's just super, super simple, but a super fun way of adding that like little extra za to your cards. So yeah, I really love doing this. And it just, also, if you want your leaves to be a little bit more stable, so what I'm doing on my cards, I'm going to actually layer them up sort of slightly offset so that you can see both colors of the cardstock. If you want your leaves to be really stable and really kind of look more 3D, you just lay them up on top of each other so that they are, you know, perfectly stacked, and that will look fantastic as well. So, but here, I've got my leaves all cut out, they're all trimmed off, and then we're gonna, you know, play around and see, you know, what's gonna look great where. And first, I was thinking of having one of each color of the die cuts on each card, but I couldn't quite gonna get my mind to be on board with that idea. So I decided to use the black and gold on one, and the white and the Dove, I'm gonna say light gray because I'm not exactly sure what color it is, on the second one. So at first I was like, okay, so maybe I do the white in the bottom and then the light gray on the top, but it did look much better actually with the white sort of backing it. It just, yeah, I will show you when I'm finished. So here I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue to stack them, and so that I have that extra bit of time to kind of just change my leaves so that they're not perfectly like covered up, because obviously the reason that we have a black one under the gold is so that it will give you that sort of shadow look, and it will just help them stand out so much better. So we're gonna then place these on top of our card bases, and I'm fairly sure actually they're gonna be exactly like that. And then I thought, you know what, we're gonna do a little bit of a sort of side note of use up your scraps, because I have all of these amazing, I think it's Handmade with Love, hot foiled sentiments already foiled and ready. And I thought, you know what, I do really need to make a more of an effort of using these ready-made pieces when I'm already making a card. So I looked at these and I thought, I think like the black ones were kind of dismissed quite early on, because I did feel like they were just a little bit too like black, if that makes sense. They were just a little bit too harsh on these like backgrounds. So I didn't faff around as much as I usually do. I actually just kind of like went for it. So Have a Nice Day done in gold, and Thank You done in rainbow foil, and it just looked fantastic. And then we are going to use these brand new limited edition dew drops. So I'm going to be using, I actually ended up using all of the colors except for the purple one, which I think is, I want to say it's called Amethyst. But so the Aurora are going to go onto our kind of more whitish card, or our white fern card. And then, of course, because it's me and I have a case of the bling-a-ling-a-ling crazy ding-dong, I'm going to be using 5 different ones on the colourful card. And I've just gotten the Crystal Katana dual picker as well, so super happy about that. I'm very impressed with the quality, and I'm going to be using it right now to put on these amazing Aurora Dew Drops. And I think you might be a little bit surprised that I was quite restrained with the Aurora. I could have gone way, way blingier. But on this one, I did use the Daffodil, Apricot, Petunia, Veronica and Fern. And it did end up looking really rather smashing, if I may say so myself. So these ones they just worked so well with that kind of whiteness of the Fern Leaf, and like that iridescent shimmer is just spectacular. And here, ooh, oh my goodness. And again, you know, I'm actually quite surprised that I was a little bit restrained. I didn't want to go like too crazy, but I really love how these turned out. And I really hope you have enjoyed this video and love how these cards turned out as well. That is it from me for today. I really hope you'll consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Crafty Meraki channel, and I will see you very soon again. Bye for now!